Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
I have been creating food content online for almost 18 years, virtually since the inception. And I started my first website in 2009, ran it mostly as a hobby, then launched my current website in 2018. I built this website from the ground up. I set the site up. I created all the content. I built and grew the email list. I grew the social media followers and secured partnerships with Raptive, MSN, and affiliate programs. I've grown it to 2.8 million page views annually and have diversified revenue across display ads, syndication, and affiliate partnerships. Before going full-time with my website, I worked in the food industry and marketing as well as a communications manager.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
My website is performing at its strongest point ever, with revenue growing year over year and a diversified income across display ads, MSN, syndication, and affiliate partnerships. I have been in the food content space for almost 18 years and have been running this site for about 8 years. While I love this work deeply, I am ready for a new professional challenge and will be transitioning into a more corporate role.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Currently, I am spending about 10 to 15 hours a week on the business. This includes updating and optimizing older content that is already on the site. This has been a really positive strategy for me for the last few years, and it's definitely something I would recommend doing in the future to consistently improve and freshen the older content to give it more life. I also recently took Pinterest scheduling in-house. This has been really successful so far in terms of driving more traffic from Pinterest, which is a really high RPM source, and also taking advantage of AI workflows, which make it pretty quick and simple. And I also schedule out emails each week to my email list, as that is another great channel to grow with traffic. I work with a freelance photographer for the recipe photographer. So my work is more focused on the strategy and the content rather than the production. And when I was actively growing the site, I would spend about probably roughly 30 hours per week. But the business right now can maintain its revenue with less hands-on time.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
I believe one of the biggest growth opportunities is with Pinterest. Now, platforms are always changing, and that is just the name of the game in the digital space. But traffic from Pinterest has one of the highest RPMs, and so it's really worth getting it right. I brought this in-house a few months ago. I was working with a Pinterest VA. I've also worked with Pinterest agencies, and I've found that I like having more control over it in-house, and I've been happier with the results. But there are some great ways if you would like to outsource that, you can. Email is another area I'd focus on. My list has been growing steadily. It grows every single day in a mostly hands-off manner. And there is definitely an untapped monetization potential and growth in perpetuity. The third major opportunity is video and sponsored work. There is a formed, engaged audience ready for influencer partnerships and sponsored content if this is something that appeals to you. I've kept this minimal while running the site, but a buyer who wants to step into that space has everything they need already in place.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
What I've learned in doing this over 18 years is that the online content landscape is always shifting and changing. There are Google algorithm updates, there are platform changes, there are fluctuations in traffic sources, and it's really helpful to be open to pivots and adjustments within the business model. I've been doing this for long enough to know that there are always these big shifts, and we always figure our way out through them. The key is to stay adaptable and not being overly dependent on any single traffic source or revenue stream, which is why I've always worked to have many different income streams.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I am happy to help within, 30 to 60 days of transition and offering a few hours per week. I will absolutely walk you through all the technical processes, sharing best practices, workflows, and also providing the AI prompts that I use that save me about 10 hours each week. I am also happy to offer guidance and mentorship beyond the technical handoff if the buyer is interested.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
I prefer a clean sale with full payment at closing. I am transitioning into a full-time role and want to really hand the business over completely so that the new owner has full control and autonomy from day one. And so I can focus on my next chapter as well.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
If you are looking for a turnkey business that will bring in immediate revenue, this is a win. We have really strong financials. In 2025, the net profit was $132,000 with year-over-year revenue growth. We have diversified revenue with multiple income streams, including display ads from Raptive, MSN syndications, Stay 22, and Amazon affiliates. No single revenue source represents more than 60% of income, which is very helpful. The site has very well established authority because it's been around for so long. It's been in operation for 8 years. It has over 500 published recipes. It has 2.8 million annual page views and 100,000 social media followers. The site ranks really well for competitive keywords and has a strong domain authority from the jump, which is very important. It also has immediate income. So if you're looking for a business that will bring in immediate revenue, this is it. I have proven and tested systems, plenty of suggestions for where to get new content if you don't want to create it yourself. And this is definitely a steady income stream that doesn't require full-time hours. It also has a lot of potential for further growth. I've been operating in maintenance mode while the business has maintained its revenue, and a buyer who dedicates more time could grow this significantly if desired, using the strategies that I've outlined, like Pinterest optimization, email, video content, and sponsored partnerships. And this is a really smooth transition. All the partnerships are transferable. The site is technically sound, and I am available and more than willing to support you during the transition period with processes, workflows, and systems that work.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.